Welcome back, everybody, to today's coverage of the CLOL Championship on Salty Runback, where 2-0 lead for Fisher might mean the end of St. Clair's journey right here. Bowing out at 7th or 8th would not be what they are hoping for. A chance to fight back here, and powerful words from Ricky LaFleur during the break there as we get ready to get into what could be his final game here in CLOL, at least for the year. Oh,
Wait,
TDS, we have you
yeah, I
muted in
just
VMix, it
realized
sounds
this.
like. There you go, you're
It's
back.
okay. It's okay, I'm back. So it's not on paper the best look for these rosters, but it's realistically not a bad look either. Top 8 is nothing to scoff at, realistically, and I think that for the long while, because CLOL hasn't really been looked at as the most complete tournament out there, to put it like this, then top 8 doesn't really look great. But realistically, top 8 is nothing to scoff at. It's being the top 8 collegiate programs in the whole nation, in the whole 2 nations, because Canada is also a nation, and the whole 2 nations. So it's something to be proud of, and it's something that programs that have recently surfaced should be proud of, realistically.
Absolutely is, but yeah, I think St. Clair especially come into this with goals set much higher. I loved talking to Maddie after their top 16 game up against Ottawa, which we were also on TDS, and he brought up there that they really wanted to improve on the top 8 result from last year. They bet on themselves a whole bunch to be able to do it, shifting over to the East Conference for harsher competition, bringing in Miracle as an additional player on the team, and a lot of people would have discounted their ability to make it back to top 8 even after Akashi was no longer on the team, but Bakery Boy filling that role excellently, having himself a solid little series as well, but not being able to push through to top 6, I think, would be a massive disappointment to them. They really felt like, especially with the double elimination bracket, they had their chance here to improve on their result, continue getting better results year after year after year. And I'm sure they felt that way seeing a draw up against Fisher College as well, but Fisher College really taking the fight to him here. Their veterancy paying off big time in these first couple of games. Jenkins, Keel, and DMK as well, all showing up absolutely massively. And that's not even to mention Poom, who just put a massive stamp on this series with that 10th game engage.
And there's a reason why most of these players are currently in the tier 2 or have been in the tier 1 of competitive play, right? Like, they are no players to scoff at all. They understand the situations, they know what it means to be here, and they understand that in clutch moments you need to pull out the clutch factor and try and pull it off the best way possible. That's something that maybe for St. Clair it's going to take a little bit more to develop, since most of these players haven't necessarily been at this level for long enough to get it going, and also having been going against this sort of competition for long enough either. Like, yes, they changed conferences, but it's not like Winthrop hasn't been playing against Maryville for most of their career, right? Against an organization or a program that has been long-lasting and long-lasting domination in the civil atmosphere. Same for Fisher, they've been fighting against them consistently, and this is something that for St. Clair, changing divisions was step 1, staying up here with the top dogs is a step 2. They need to get this experience to really put it on themselves to be above top 8 level.
Absolutely here. And I mean, Fisher College overcoming a whole bunch today, especially, right? We had a little tongue-in-cheek graphic. We started out today with all their roster changes over the last year, and a part of that is the roster they played with 2 weeks ago, the roster they played with Friday, and the roster they played with today, all being different. But Ralik coming in the mid lane has really shown up in these first 2 games, especially that game number 2 on Talia, making so much happen, really proving any doubters wrong, and showing that, hey, this team can still show up, they can still play with this guy in the mid lane. Now an opportunity to close out a sweep over St. Clair and get themselves back in the conversation. As you look at the names that are on this team, and they're a squad that, if you've never watched any CLOL, if you just pop into the wiki and you pull up who the players are, but you know names around the NA scene, you would say, oh man, Fisher College, these guys look really good. Jenkins, Keel, Poom, and they're showing it right here today as they find themselves with a chance to sweep the series.
Exactly, a 3-0 in favor of Fisher would be a really good confidence booster moving forward into the bracket. Now for St. Clair, they have the chance to do something historic though. This could be the second reverse sweep, depending on if they can win the next 3 in a row. So that's what their angle should be. Look at it on the bright side, right? Like last 2 games already happened. Try and be positive and move forward 1 game at a time. Fisher has the potential to sweep, and you have the potential to make it even better and reverse sweep. So it's always fun to look at it in that sort of manner. Now looking into the second game, into the third game, ban phase already started. Same 2 bans for St. Clair. Riki deserving that Darius ban as well. And I think that this time around, if you want to go for the Jinx, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think the change should be on Miracle. And going for something like the Nautilus, like the Tahm Kench, can be a nice change of fate.
And I think the whole team strategy can change there as well, especially if you're going to first pick this Jinx again. Play for it. We need to see Rockboom able to get involved. He was sitting there at 2 assists and nothing else for the longest time in game number 3, and just does not get to participate in these team fights. Like, this guy should be the star player on the team, right? Rockboom has been to higher highs than most of this roster in competitive League of Legends. Played a split of NACL just this past season. He has got a whole higher ceiling than is the default assumption for a lot of players here. You need to give him the opportunity to cook, and it's going to take a little bit of a team effort. It's going to take a village to get Rockboom to be able to be that carry force, and so far they've kind of been leaving him alone. It's been the Riki show, and while Riki has done well, it hasn't been enough to take home the wins.
Exactly, even though it's been a good performance by them, they need to get that extra power to allow for him to carry extra movement, and it's going to be the first 3 picks, the same first 3 picks as in the previous game. Senna, Nautilus, not a bad duo, boring duo, but not a bad duo, and Poom played it really, really well, although maybe something happened, we're gonna wait there, but I do like the idea of the Jinx, and this is something we need to look into for the continuation of the series, right? Because Riki has been great so far. Maybe not the we carry and destroy the rest of the game sort of great, but it has been great. But who needs to step up as well is Rockboom. We need to see the Rockboom of the previous series. We need to see the Rockboom of NACL. We need to see the Rockboom that can hyper carry a game. Because at this point, DMK is making a much better statement for AD carry, for the better AD carry player, and also for the better bot lane with Poom.
Yeah, I mean, huge for DMK too, by the way, as a guy who's just kind of role swapped in towards bot lane over the course of the last calendar year, right? Like historically a jungler, right? He was a jungler trying to make it pro, trying to get into NACL or Academy as it was known at the time, really putting in that effort, and did very briefly, right? Had a very short stint on Cloud9 Academy way back when. Now, coming here, it was kind of in a coaching role for Fisher for a period of time, been playing marksman for them over the course of this year, and in this series, looking like he's been doing it his whole life. He looks absolutely terrific. A huge Varus game in game number 1, solid Senna game in game number 2, and assuming that that was the real draft we saw for a few moments and these guys aren't like accidentally running back the game 2 draft for fun, then we may very well get to see another big Senna performance in game number 3.
Yeah, and that could be a difference maker moving forward as well. Like, setting up the pieces for Fisher is always going to be nice to see. Seeing where they can end up going with this roster is going to be nice. And if the players can step up to the plate today, then maybe they can do it as well tomorrow, or tomorrow, no, next Friday. Yeah, that.
Yeah. No, we get a break. Everybody gets a break.
Yeah.
They're gonna get to chill out. They're gonna get to. I mean, it's still like final season for some of these guys, I think. So you got to go and take some classes. Go and do that. Fingers crossed that you get some time to relax in the week before the next round. As gonna be high pressure matches from here on out. Once you're in the lower bracket, you don't get out of there. So it's going to be elimination matches until you either win the whole thing or you're done. That's just the way the cookie crumbles once you end up falling down to that lower bracket. So going to be high pressure matches in store for these teams coming on up into the next weekend, regardless of who ends up with the win. Our tech issue seems to have been resolved. We're going to be getting back into draft here, and I assume we're going to run back everything we got to see so far. So I think we can safely assume it's going to be the Rockboom Jinx. It's going to be the Senna Nautilus again for DMK and Poom.
Would be weird if it's not the case, or there's no reason for if it's the same fans coming in for both sides. So Nothing out of the ordinary should end up coming through here. It's more so what the rest of the picks are going to end up coming with. And one thing I'm kind of curious is if Matt is going to stay with the Bolivar. The Bolivar went great in the early game, right? Like, it was really active, it was finding the right plays in the right moment, but then later on it kind of lost its power compared to the rest of the team. And no, it's going to be the Senna band away instead, so maybe that was the bit of the issue, not actually the same bands, but actually changing them up. So is it going to be the Jinx first pick here for the side of St. Clair, and what's the answer then for Fisher?
Yeah, so I guess we actually were playing out the wrong draft there. So Senna banned now by St. Clair. Will they look to keep some of the other bans the same? Will they still first pick the Jinx? Will Fisher ban the Jinx? Now that's the question, as St. Clair have started to make this draft and this series more about the bottom lane and keeping DMK and Poom from being able to have that big influence.
Well, we come from a series yesterday where the bot lane kind of got 5 banned continuously. So with this corner ban coming through here, Kalista still open, the Jinx looking like the potential first pick for St. Clair. Kalista is not necessarily a great bad pick to go for, particularly if you go for the Renata Kalista world like always. And it's instead going to be the Nautilus, stealing away the pick for Miracle. It was also a contested pick yesterday for Winthrop against St. Clair, so now giving it back to Miracle. And I like this, give him something to be much more proactive, but also that he doesn't die in 3 seconds. That's a much better tool to have.
DMK gonna snap up that Jinx though, so will be that high priority hyper carry bot laner for them. And then the question is going to be for me, the Saints, are they going to look to play an aggressive bot lane then? Will they go back to this Kalista, seeing that they are up against a scaling carry? Boom going to try to get out ahead of that and get the Braum to keep this Jinx as safe as he possibly can.
Yeah, it goes for the Braum now, but this does open up, and I wasn't thinking the Kalista, I was thinking maybe the Kai'Sa for Rock, one of his more favorite champions. It's not going to be the Kai'Sa even. It's going to be a hyper-aggressive bot lane with the Draven now. Is that the better matchup to go against the Braum? I'm not even sure, but I like that they are taking a completely different approach. Engage support, aggressive AD carry, and even securing the Jax for Riki up there. I think overall, a bit of comfort in some senses. I'm not sure how comfortable is Rockman with the Draven, but I'm going to guess he's really comfortable on the champion. And then going for the Jax for Riki is going to be really comfort-based composition for St. Clair.
That's going to make it 3 Talia games in a row for Rollick as that gets locked on in, assuming that they aren't going to flex it over to Keel. Curious to see if this Jax will be in Ricky's hands or will be in Maddie's. We would assume it would go over to Ricky, as he's a little bit more of the Jax player here, but definitely some room for both to be possible. And if this is not St. Clair focusing towards bot lane, I don't know what to tell you. They got the Draven Nautilus. They first picked the Nautilus to be able to set up for a more aggressive lane. They need to path towards these guys and try to set them up in the matchup up against DMK and Poom. And 1000% they're going to. I can't promise that they'll succeed, but this is not a game where you just path towards Ricky over and over again.
Yeah, I wouldn't believe so either here, as we have the second Lilia ban. I didn't even know that was possible, but double banning away Maddie, respectable here for the side of Fisher. And then I'm expecting to see the Kennen ban come here. I don't think they want to play against it, but Ricky did play against it yesterday, so maybe that they think that Ricky's capable of going against it with the Jax, instead leaving open the Kennen and taking away the K'Sante in comparison.
Yeah, I'll bring on over now back towards Fisher. They have their crack at the jungle, and they will take Keel the Lee Sin, looking to get themselves some real early game power here, especially if bot lane 3-on-3, 4-on-4 is going to become a big theme of the game.
Now, for Maddie, you were mentioning the potential of the Jax going into the jungle. Maybe it is the Jax going into the jungle. Could be also them going for something like the Jarvan, like the Xin Zhao here to try and keep up an early game pressure. But I think that with what they already drafted, something a tankier could be the choice, and it's going to be the Scion. So it is a Jax inside of the jungle, and I'm expecting to see maybe the Kennen coming through here for Jenkins. Even though there's barely any tanky members in Fisher, I think the Kennen could work out here. Maybe the Gwen as well. Jenkins is more of a Gwen player, but it's not going to be the Orange. So going to match tank for tank, top lane not going to be the most exciting lane then.
Yeah, Gonna be a little bit chiller than it has been for the first couple of games for certain, and instead gonna shift our focus towards the bottom lane. But Fisher with a hell of a scaling composition for themselves now, though, with that Ornn in the top lane, going to be incredibly tanky alongside that Scion. But who is going to be able to work through the tanks better? Surely it's going to be DMK on this Jinx because of that hyper carry potential that he's got.
Yeah, but the main question mark here is, will DMK be able to play the early game or not? Right? Like, that's the big thing. You're playing Nautilus, Draven, and you also have the Jax. There's attempts that you can go for the bot lane, try and just destroy them as heavily as possible. We may get a 5v5 level 1 even.
Very well could. Everybody making a beeline towards that bottom lane. St. Clair, will they stop in the tri-brush? They will continue to move over.
They're going to get spotted.
The ping brush.
30 seconds until minions.
Yeah, they will get spotted on this try. They do see it thanks to the sweep. And now Fisher waiting in the wings. Will they look to get this started here? Forward. There's going to be the charge. A 5-man knockup from Jenkins will mean Ricky is the first one to drop. Rock Boom catching his axes, getting some good damage on across. Ricky back in the zombie mode. Will time out soon. Miracle tries to flash backwards. Ralik nearly taken out. Will stay standing. Knockup again from Jenkins. He does not miss these searing charges. And 2 kills go over to Fisher to start off game number 3.
They want to go back. Riki popping the ghost and popping the teleport back here. Oh. They want to try and kill, but I'm not sure if they can.
Oh no, worst of both worlds there for Ricky, as here comes Boom and Jenkins on the backside. It is chaos to kick things off, but Rock Boom will get his first kill. DMK looking to get excited, looking to get the resets. Flash backwards for Rock Boom. Huge smash from Ricky LaFleur! And 2 more kills to Maddie St. Clair come out on top in the extended engagement.
And the Fiesta works out for the side of St. Clair. It's a kill for the Draven. He actually popped the passive. They also killed DMK, so he's not able to get the most value. And then even though Riki commits teleport and goes, he's going to come back to the top lane perfectly fine. Everyone finding some sort of value for them, and it's working out for St. Clair, even though it looked like it didn't.
Oh, it was real dangerous there. I was full doomer when Ricky got the worst of both worlds on that decimating smash. He tries to charge it up to finish off Ralik. Ralik gets out of range, but he also releases it too soon to get the knockup. I thought it was done and dusted there, but he shows back up, gets a big smash off to save Rock Boom and Miracle's lives, and that gives 2 more kills to Maddie.
Yeah, I'm honestly not even sure if it was going to work out or not, but you know what? It works out. Rock Boom gets a good start, and now maybe the game could be set up perfectly for the side of St. Clair. And also, we didn't talk much about it, but it's 2 kills as well for the Jax. Oh. Boom.
Boom. Aggressing forward. He's got the level 2 first, but Miracle and Rock Boom hold strong. They do have a little bit of an item advantage with that long sword in Rock Boom's pockets, and going to be continuing to farm up. Looks like they will hit level 2 here with that siege falling down.
Interesting that they are not going to try and be as aggressive here. Obviously, the huge wave does prompt it up, but I like that they are understanding that the Jax is not that close to them, so they can try and wait it out a little bit longer before they actually commit some of the play. I also wanted to mention, Jax did get 2 kills. Maddie starting the game really strong, and this could be something positive because the Jax is going to scale much better than the Listen.
Certainly could here. Going to be eyes on Maddie here as he gets himself a boatload of gold to kick off game number 3. Could already be such a strong carry force on this Jackson. Getting it early on in this kind of matchup, so huge as well, because of how strong this Lee Sin is in the early game.
Yeah, the one that is not having a fun time is Riki. He did take longer to reach the top lane, committed everything to try and turn around the situation, so he's paying the price for the sins of his team, but if it works out, then you're happy if you're Riki, if you're able to turn it around thanks to providing for the rest of the team.
For sure. Rock Boom is clearing out these minions and stacking on up those axes. He's got to be so comfortable with the first kill already in his pockets. Be able to play at an advantage on this Draven. It is so frustrating as somebody like this Jinx. You just cannot step near him or he's going to win the trade every single time. Doesn't matter how well you play it.
Yeah, most of the time you're going to lose it out. Oh,
wow, big combo out of Jenkins and a solo kill in the tank v tank matchup. Ricky disrespects what this Ornn brings to the table, and Jenkins makes him know about it.
I'm not even sure if I'd say disrespect. It just simply happened there. Riki taking the full brunt of the damage, and it's the price you played for committing the teleport and the ghost before. You are going to be down in lane, you are going to be down in items, and now Jenkins having the greatest time of his life in this tank v tank matchup. Also important, the wave is crashing on him, so he's going to be even further ahead thanks to that. Rally.
The mid jungle, the stun comes on through. Ralik not able to shove him back away in time, but it didn't look like Bakery Boy had the charm ready. So Ralik will stay alive, very low on HP though. The control over this lane will go to St. Clair.
They do have the advantage, or at the very least, they do have a bit of the advantage for Bakery Boy. The lead in terms of CS is not going to be that high, and they also won't have the biggest control just because Ralik didn't have to blow Flash. He didn't have it, but he didn't have to blow it once again, so he's going to get it back soon enough. Now, Jenkins is the one that is making the difference here, and he can keep on threatening the Sion as Dragon is getting done here thanks to the control in bot lane.
Yep, I mean, Maddie's pathing towards top, so gonna be no contest on this one. St. Clair happy to just let Miracle move around and keep the wave on their side of the map and let Rock Boom take some time to farm on up. Bakery Boy is coming down, so they see that this is happening. They've got no Keel, though. They're just playing Spectator League of Legends right now. They're in the same boat that we are.
Exactly. They are waiting for something to end up happening here, the Dragon going down, and just watching out for what they can accomplish elsewhere in the map. Maddie getting these grubs, not going to be a bad trade, not going to be the best possible, especially with barely any side lane pressure comparatively.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
I think he's going for the minions.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think you're completely right here. He knows he's got Maddie there for the backup, so he is going to be willing to just expend some resources to keep Jenkins on the back foot. He is popping the Ghost, though. Call the Forge God coming in. Ricky not going to be able to dodge away, and it will be Keel here in time. Keel finishes off the kill. St. Clair will get the grubs on the other side, but yeah, going to be Ricky down for the count yet again.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if that was the right choice for Riki there to try and go for the minions. I understand trying to push the wave. I don't really understand trying to give your life for it, but okay, it's going to be the grubs only and 3 deaths for the Sion. He's maybe learning a lot from the buffs, but in the wrong way.
Yeah, maybe. A little bit of inting Sion. Always time for that as Boom gets hooked on in, does have the Unbreakable. Be able to avoid breaking. Be able to absorb a couple of those spinning axes. Boom is grooving though here as he ticks over towards level 6, continuing to stack up his passive, getting those admiration stacks and getting ready to potentially execute somebody with that whirling death.
Yeah, Rockboom is having the greatest time possible here with having that kill, the early levels as well. He's 1 level ahead of Dragon Main Kim. He also has the damage to back him up. Just all working out for himself there.
Certainly is. Focus around the bottom lane from St. Clair. Really starting to manifest. Keel invading into the jungle. Looking to set up for potential punish here. See if they find Keel looking for a recall. It seems like they do. They interrupt him. Meanwhile, Jenkins chasing Ricky here. Just stacking on up. Really, really the stronger tank up in this matchup, especially as he dodges out on that decimating smash. He is really giving Ricky the hands. We'll see how much difference it makes in the extended game, as it is kind of just tank v tank, but oh boy.
The difference is going to be who takes 1 more auto attack than the other team, right?
Yeah, that's what it's all building towards.
Ricky can survive 1 less auto attack. The Jinx carries the fight thanks to that extra auto attack difference.
See, that's top lane life, baby. He should be. I've always talked about it. Top lane, being a top laner involves like shifting your mindset a little bit into considering weird things as victories that don't feel like victories. As Rockboom advancing forward, the flash hook from Miracle will pull him out of position, and a chance for another big reset out of this Draven. Though an auto attack onto a minion there from Rockboom will cost them big time. They don't finish off the kill.
Does he have enough mana? He doesn't have enough mana for the Whirling Dead, or does he?
He might be waiting for it here. He might just be too concerned about Unbreakable being back up. I mean, Boom will just eat it.
That was 3 flashes blown from the bot lane there. 1 from Miracle, 2 from Dragon Main Kim and Boom. I take that as a moral victory because they actually find the value there. Oh, there may be a collapse on Tariki.
He's got ult. He's out of here. Oh,
are you sure?
Doesn't channel it in time, though. He will get walled off. He's going to ult in the other direction. Great block by Keel. Intercepts Ricky LaFleur in his attempt to escape. And now he's just cleared out the wave. He knows there's nothing else for him here. He's going down.
He knows he's just going to end the farm there. gets the extra minion and the wave gets pushed out there. I was going to say also, but this kind of works like that. At the very least, the top laners there didn't go into the lane swap because that would have been the worst. But guess what? They are actually lane swapping.
Yep, going to look to get a little bit more in it towards Rockboo and Miracle's pockets. That's a surprise to me, though. They've taken no plates bottom, and there's already multiple plates taken by the Scion on the other side, but looking for the play anyway. Diving forward, focuses on towards Poom. Will Poom be able to get away this time? There's the Whirling Death blocked away by the Unbreakable. Huge commitment from Poom to be able to hold out of that ability, and now Jenkins comes in on the other side off the back of the teleport, connects that knockup. Miracle left out to dry. DMK gets his first kill of the game, and he's looking to chase more while he's excited. Maddie and Rockboo's got to head out of here. Super Mega Death Rocket shut down gold to DMK, and this Jinx is online.
Yeah, you have to flash to the other wave. You don't want to get hit there, but pretty big mistake coming in by St. Clair. They don't respect the potential from Poom with the shield. They just deny every bit of damage. And importantly, Rockboom throwing the Whirling Death at the time where the shield was going down, but it didn't come down. He just was a little bit off on the timing there. Ends up paying the price with the life of both members from St. Clair, and now the Draven lead completely evaporated.
Yeah, great discipline there from Poom to just hold on to that Unbreakable shield as long as he needs to. Throw it on up to save himself from the execute. It denies a potential cash out to Rockboom on those Admiration stacks. That would have really catapulted him to being the richest member on the map. Instead, he's going to have to continue to fish for it, and that's twice now that St. Clair has sent a bunch of resources towards Rockboom to try to get him that reset. Not able to find it once again.
Yeah, not able to get the advantage there, and that's just going to be another dragon in favor of the side of Fisher. They get the second dragon of the game. It's going to be Cloud. This is actually Cloud Dragon. Cloud Soul going to go in their favor, and now maybe a dive once again against Ricky. They really dislike this Scion.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky really having his mental tested this series and this game, especially as he gets three members on top of him. Will get stunned, does have that Soul Furnace shield, the exhaust as well. A lot of resources will end up dropping, but he got the kill on towards Poom. So you know what? Ricky LaFleur, pretty happy with that one. He managed to trade it 1-for-1. Does reset his gold value, though. That's a boss no-no.
Yeah, it's a 1-for-1. Maybe he was trying to look for the 2-for-1, but you know what? You get the kill, and you're still getting. You also got the Grobs up there in the top lane. 6 Grobs in favor of St. Clair. Their pushing power is going to be really good. They can maybe try and get a little bit more gold for Rockboom up there. They are not going to push into the turret though, so it's going to take a little bit longer before we finally see those Grobs into full action.
We need to see St. Clair start to jump back in, actually. Big Boy's got to get out of here. Has to blow the Spirit Rush defensively. Boom. Showing up at the right moment to back up his mid laner.
Yeah, waiting on the right time, and that just means that Baker Boy will not have his ultimate anymore. The map is really weird for the side of St. Clair because they are behind in gold, yes, but they have places where they can try and collapse them. The problem is that Rockboom doesn't have a lead that is worthy of the champion. Like, you're playing Draven, but you're not far enough from the Jinx to actually merit playing the Draven. And that's a huge problem, because you're not picking the Draven for the late game. You're picking the Draven to win so heavily that the other AD carry cannot do anything.
Yep. Does have a lot of Admiration stacks.
Oh,
has
no.
not gone down yet in the game, so we'll get a big cash out. He does find a kill, but that's the hard part, is Ricky. Once again, I mean, just no breaks for this Scion. He gets another turret plate. He will clear out another wave. That's the thing about the Scion, is that you can die a whole bunch and still be relevant, but it is more and more money in Keel's pockets on this Lee Sin.
It is his decision for what happens there, but like, yeah, at the very least, he gets a push into the turret, gets another plate. He has the Grobs to back him up, so can find a little bit of value there, but the problem is that it's not being the highest value. Jenkins maybe here taking a bad trade.
Takes a fair chunk there. Maddie will be able to look for the stun, but yeah, they just don't have the damage to work their way through that tanky Ornn. Not with just Malignance and Trinity Force, so...
Yeah.
Coming back over towards mid lane, Rollick looking to pick up that first turret gold in the bottom on his own, and he's going to get it. A fair bit of money in it towards Fisher as they build themselves back up to about a 3K lead. Maddie starting off the Rift Herald.
They're looking for Herald on the other side. Miracle maybe engaged on here.
Gone in, but it's a big
Oh.
charm. It connects on towards Boom. The reset for Rock Boom will come
One
on
down.
through. He gets a massive influx of gold, and now focusing these axes through on towards Jenkins. Meanwhile, an excited DMK popping off of the backside, looking for some of these shots, only finding Ricky, though. Wants to get on towards Miracle, but Miracle will Spider-Man his way out of there. It's a 1-for-1 fight, but it's a 1-for-1 fight where Rock Boom got so much money.
Yeah, he's able to get the kill there, able to collect 1,800 gold in his pocket, able to get at the very least closer to that next item. Important that Rockboom keeps on finding this value, because he's going to be an important member in this mid-game team fight. Now, it was a really good fight, Maddie finding really good engage and also committing onto Dragonman Kim. He ends up escaping because he had the flash and the ghost, but they are able to try and put a little bit of pressure onto the AD carry from Fisher. And if they are able to make the most out of the Jax plus the Draven having value, then they can try and win the game. There's no ulti for Bakery Boy.
Yeah, Bakery Boy does manage to get the tower. Will he have to blow the flash to escape? Yes. Gets away from the Winter's Bite, and he is home free. Does get them that extra influx of gold as well, as he did get credit for killing out the turret.
Does get the extra credit, able to at the very least get the gold, more gold for the team, and also pushing a little bit onto the grubs, but not going to get punished as heavily. He does blow the flash, but Ultimate will be back up really soon, as Dragon is also going to be back up real soon. 40 seconds for it. It's going to be soul point for Fisher. Do they really want to fight this on the side of St. Clair, though? I think more for the fight than for the Dragon.
This is the question here. 30 seconds to go. Fisher getting on to soul point would be rough for St. Clair, but not game ending. See if they choose to try to take a stand here. They do have to be concerned about the scaling power that DMK brings to the table, though. Like you said, maybe look for it for the fight more so than for the Dragon itself. St. Clair, we've been begging them all series to play towards this star 80 carry. They've finally done it. Got a little bit of gold for it, but Bob Jenkins looking to collapse onto him. Dodges away on the seismic shove, but not the ultimate. Does flash back away from that Mega Death Rocket, but it's not going to be enough. The collapse comes on through. It's going to be a kill on towards Maddie as well. 2 for 0 for Fisher College in the mid lane. They pull the trigger and take down the post-fed members of St. Clair.
But not sure if Rockman was saving Flash for next CLOL, but he just lasted so long without using it. He takes the full brunt of the damage there and just ends up paying the price. Boom getting collapsed on. I don't think they have enough damage here, though.
Towards Poom here, trying to focus
Maybe,
him through. Good damage out of Ricky. And Ricky LaFleur says, all right, we stopped picking the carries, but I'm going to make the plays happen anyway. Rock Boom comes in with the Whirling Death. DMK, a huge chunk of damage out of Bakery Boy. Ricky looking for the mocking shout, looking for the shutdown, gets it into Bakery Boy's hands, and St. Clair turn a disaster into a win.
You know what? I take it back. Huge bait by Rockboom, able to bait everyone into going forward. They find kills onto kill onto Dragonman Kim, kill onto Poom. They find really important kills there, and now they are pressuring the Dragon and the turret. Will they be able to take it down? I'm not sure, but at the very least, they are doing a really good job at putting pressure in important parts of the map. They are going to lose a turret, though.
They've equalized the gold with that. They're pretty much even now. They secure themselves their first Dragon of the game. Rockboom has got that Infinity Edge completed. He's ahead of DMK. Not by a lot, but is at least ahead. In these upcoming fights, that's what you need for St. Clair. You need this power point to play through, and Ricky LaFleur is the man for St. Clair College, finding that sweep through the jungle on the unstoppable onslaught, connecting on towards Poom, and starting a fight that just pulled St. Clair back into contention.
It's amazing how a 2 and 6 Cyan has the same amount of gold as a 1, 1 and 8 Ornn. It feels like he barely has done anything, but at the same time he's just staying up there, and it comes off of the fact that he was getting those turret plates really effectively. Baker Boy not able to connect her, so it's not go. Oh!
Stoppable onslaught looking for DMK. He will stop it short. And now just back away. Did manage to clear them away from the tower. And that will get another turret over to St. Clair.
Yeah, extra gold for the side of St. Clair. It's not going to be a kill onto Dragonman Kim, but it is Ghost blown for the 80 carry from the side of Fisher. And they are going to keep on pushing the issue on the side of St. Clair.
Certainly will. And not let this go without a fight. continuing now to just try to spend some of this money they've been able to obtain for themselves. The 2-item spike on Bakery Boy, also absolutely huge for them. And with the Baron spawning in about 30 seconds, I wonder if St. Clair are going to be willing to push on towards that objective to try to get these fights started.
And will they be able to force the fights to start? Now we finally get back to the most important part of the game. The Ornn versus Cyan matchup that Jenkins already got a couple of solo kills. Maybe he can once again? Or not?
Not going to go
They're
for
too tanky.
too much more. So they will
They
back
take
on
too
up
long.
with each other.
They're trying to make a play happen here. They have Ralik and Keel on the side. Baron already spawning as well. But it's important to look at the power points for both of these teams, right? And Maddie has 1 item and a half already completed. Keel may be doing a lot of damage, but he's not going to be nor Jax in the later stage of the game. That's going to be an important difference later on. But also, looking at the bot lane, Rockboom has 2.5 items. But Dragon King already completed the second item, and this Hurricane may be doing marvelous things in a team fight.
For sure, and you want to call something out here. I mean, the Ornn items are starting to come on through. Unspoken Parasite upgraded there for Bob Jenkins.
I hate
And
those
as
names.
these start to rain through for the rest of the squad, it is going to be a de facto gold lead back over to Fisher College. It won't reflect in the stats, but it will reflect in the combat stats, the champion stats, not the gold stats.
Yeah, and also while we have this little bit of a downtime, right? Need to remind people, right? 2-0 up Fisher, St. Clair trying to pull up the second reverse sweep in the history of CLOL. And for these teams, for these programs, important to try and get farther than top 8. It's on paper not the worst thing, or not necessarily the best, but in reality, it can be a boost in confidence for the programs, for the players to go farther up. And I think that they are really trying to play their hearts out here to not fall down in top 8.
For sure. Well, little engagement breaking out back and forth. Not going to be able to see too much out of these two, or at least
Are you
coming
sure?
into the back half of the game, but let's take a step back here. I mean, it's another real close game between two squads with everything on the line. St. Clair, they've seen these reverse sweeps firsthand happen to them yesterday. Need to pull it out of them right now, and it's a game on a knife's edge that could be determined right here. Keel diving forward on towards Maddie, connects another Sonic Wave. Maddie's bought enough space now, and look at Bakery Boy. He's coming in on the flank. He sees the potential to get onto DMK, but it would be a huge risk. Throughout the charm already. Hook back in onto Jenkins. The fight is getting started, and it's St. Clair kicking it off. Dive back in. Bakery Boy has to flash back out. He's got to be afraid of these frontliners. Charm connects, but it's only on towards Boom. Good damage found out of him, but now backing on forward. There's going to be Maddie having to jump back out of the fight. Whirling Death connects through the rest of the team. Rock Boom finding angles to throw through these axes, but the members are too tanky so far. It's still Bakery Boy up on the top side. Keel connects the Sonic Wave, focusing Rock Boom down. Rock Boom will be able to get one kill. Not even that. It's a double kill over to DMK. Keel stays alive. Fisher College find their targets, and they are up 3-0 in the fight.
They get the 3 kills. It's only Bakery Boy and Miracle, but the problem is that even with low health bars, Bakery Boy has no ultimate. He has to find a massive charm in some way, and he gets Ralik.
He gets it onto Ralik. Ralik is found low, but it's not enough to finish him off. Yeah. Miracle is getting involved. He doesn't manage to connect the depth charge. There's that searing charge out of Jenkins, holding Miracle still, taking him down, and the damage has to come from Bakery Boy now. Keel staying alive thanks towards that Sundered Sky. Will be able to disengage. It's the resets from Bakery Boy that are necessary. He used that Fate's Call, or the Spirit Rush, whatever abilities are called. I'm out of my mind now. Bakery Boy will not be able to find more, but he stops the Baron.
Bakery Boy, a bit of a misstep there. Oh, Boom, maybe getting caught out here. No flash.
Yeah, these are the two strong members here from St. Clair, Rock Boom and Maddie. Maddie just wailing on him here with that Trinity Force, and Whirling Death will give the kill credit to Rock Boom. He was able to throw axes for so long in that last fight, but didn't have the damage to stop Jenkins. If he can get that, it will make a world of a difference.
Yeah, but it sounds ironic that he didn't have the damage considering how far ahead he was previously. Oh, Yale trying to look for Riki here. They don't have the area close by, so it is a 4v4 technically at this point.
Yeah, decimating smash will connect on towards Keel.
Ricky.
Rock Boom coming on in. Ricky's gonna have to tank up everything. He's at about half HP. They will choose to disengage. Bakery Boy recalling.
They don't
Getting a
want to
little
fight this.
purchase in. He has TP, but this is not the place to fight for St. Clair. They're gonna give up Soul Point.
They probably are waiting, like you were mentioning, for that third item for Rockboom. Give him the extra damage to be able to take down Bob Jenkins, because at this point, it's much harder to kill the Ornn than it is to kill the Sai and the Jinx. It's just simply way too hard to reach, and she's dealing so much damage to the front line, not even the back line. As Boom takes a little bit of damage, but it's not going to be the end of the war. Baron started though, and there's nobody in close proximity just yet.
Yeah, they're
Going down
starting to move
quickly.
on over through mid lane. St. Clair are regrouping, but they're a little bit far away. Ricky
too
LaFleur
late.
has no ultimate, has no way to
Late.
join. Call the Forge God coming on through. Will not connect. The hook on in from Miracle. They need to get this fight started right now. Charm connects, but it's only on to Bob Jenkins. Rock Boom gets a couple of axes on through. Dash forward with the counter strike. Jenkins is the one being focused.
Miracle.
Bakery Boy comes over the wall, gets the charm
that
on
is
towards Rowlick. He's immune to slows. He runs way
Rock
out of
Boom's so
position,
low.
but they haven't been able to finish him off yet. Health bars are dropping lower. No more dashes available for Bakery Boy. Does not connect the final charm, and Fisher College will get away with 5 Baron buffs.
Rockboom just simply feels so useless this fight. He barely deals damage, and it's weird to say of a Draven that has 3 items, but he's just not getting the damage out, and it's a huge part. Jenkins on the Ornn tanking it, but also the shield from Poom. His unbreakable will is really unbreakable, is not allowing for a lot of the damage to go through, and it's just simply impossible for St. Clair to pull it off. It really is looking much closer to the 3-0 of Fisher College.
It really is here. Fisher College able to restabilize, secure themselves that Baron buff, and want to put a final nail in the coffin up against St. Clair. Roster changes be damned. Fisher College showing up way harder than anybody thought they would. We had no 3-0 FC predictions on the graphic, and they are going to
I think
prove
there was
everybody wrong.
Maybe? I don't even remember. There were only 3 people that predicted Fisher, so
I don't think any of them
realistically-
predicted a sweep. If I'm wrong,
Yeah.
I apologize. Ricky slowed up, gonna get shoved back in, going to get chain CC'd, but he is so tanky, he can survive on through it. Maddie coming in on the flank, wants to try to find the fight. DMK gets hooked back in, that's the primary target. Maddie going up towards the top side, trying to slow down Jenkins. Rock Boom thrown on through the axes, looking to be able to get one of these resets, gets on towards Keel, is gonna be able to find that shutdown, but DMK, he's excited, he's kiting backwards. Maddie dodging out with the counter strikes, not able to finish off that 80 carry. DMK stays alive. It's a 2-for-1 fight for Fisher College.
Can we pan to where Ricky is, please? How the hell did he get there?
You know, Ricky works in mysterious ways, TDS. He gets deep on behind, is cutting the waves, and you know what? It's
It
kind of
works,
stopping
yeah.
Fisher's play from being positive. They've got no minion waves, so they can't take the turret.
Worked. Yeah, I take that. It worked. They kill, they don't lose anything. The Baron not going to find perfect value there, so works out. I think that's perfect for the side of St. Clair there. They stopped the value of the Baron for a little bit longer, but it's still a favored Fisher game. They are really far ahead. DMK has 3 items already completed, has or is closer to the 4th item than Rockboom is at this point, and it's difficult to reach the Jinx in the backline.
And once again, I mean, just clever play out of Ricky LaFleur. If this tournament doesn't turn you into a Ricky LaFleur fan, I don't know what will. So hard to avoid falling in love with this player, with what he's been able to accomplish, and how well he's been able to perform in each and every matchup, even up against Bob Jenkins here. Struggling in lane, as is to be expected, but still finding ways to have value, and even picking himself up that solo kill last game.
It's not what you do in lane, it's what you do in the rest of the game that really matters, and I even got a rhyme out of that. But yeah, Ricky has been really consistent in how he impacts the game for his team. For better or for worse, he's been a player that it's been a pleasure to watch so far, and hopefully it doesn't end here. Not because I'm against the 3-0 or anything like that, I just want to see a 5-game series again.
Yeah. And more Ornn items coming on across. Interestingly enough, not seeing the Wormfall and Sacrifice for DMK. Instead, these upgrades, they're going towards Keel, they're going towards Rowlick. They want to just make sure that they're going to be able to be huge damage forces from across the board.
Oh, the back.
Boy coming in on the flank. Look at this play from Ricky. He gets the knock-up. He's in the middle of everybody. Bakery coming over the wall, not going to be able to connect the charm onto DMK. He's got to dash back over to regroup with the team. And
so
Jenkins
funny.
is just taking up everything. Another huge seismic shove out of Rollick. Will pull them out of position. Will claim himself a double kill. Will clean up the fight for Fisher. And Super Mega Death Rocket nearly takes Maddie off the map. It's just these two trying to defend, trying to avoid the sweep, but Rollick won't even give them the chance. Rollick goes legendary, claims his 8th kill of the game, and it's just Rock Boom left to defend.
Yeah, they were looking for the Jinx, but the Jinx was perfectly left in touch in the backline. Bakery Boy barely able to do anything, and you're pointing out, Rollick is the man of the hour so far. 8-0. He barely has died at all in the series. Not even in just this game. In the series, he's performing so well. 3 games of the Talia, but it's working out massively for them. And oh, Rock Boom.
Searing charge coming out across. Rock Boom still staying standing. It's got to be all on him. 2 versus 5. He and Miracle, but DMK is untouched. He's focusing the Nexus, and he will send St. Clair home. Fisher College, a 3-0 sweep to make top 6.
Amazing performance by Fisher. Nobody, or 3 people predicted them in the analysts. The rest, we didn't believe in them. I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably not going to believe in them either going forward, just because the remaining teams are still really strong. At the very least, stronger than them in my eyes. But still, this is the sort of performance you need when there is a lot of doubt on you, right? You have multiple roster swaps, you have multiple changes that impact how you play, but they come in today against a roster that was looking really strong from yesterday's matchup, and they say, we don't care. We're just going to play our game, play how we think it's going to be the best, 3-0 you in the best manner possible, and look forward to continuing in this top 8 bracket, in this lower bracket run. Really great things from Fisher. Important players to highlight in my eyes. Obviously, Kiel and Jenkins performing how we kind of expected, but DMK and Rollick, unsung heroes in a really good sweep by them.
Yeah, I mean, just proving what we had coming into this wrong, right? We were so excited for Jenkins and Kiel to be these rocks and expected that they would have to be the players. If you had asked me how will Fisher College win this series, if they win this series, I would have expected big cannon flanks coming through from Jenkins. I would have expected split pushes on the Gnar with that damage-focused Gnar build that he showed in game number 2. I would have expected big Keel pop-offs with stuff like that Viego. That is not really what we got, other than here and there from, maybe Keel in game number 2. Beyond that, it's been DMK on that Varus in game number 1, so fed, such a carry. And then Rollick in games 2 and 3 on this Talia, unkillable, unstoppable, ripping through the health bars of St. Clair and guaranteeing a win for the squad. Massive stuff here from Fisher College.
100%, and it's important that they keep this, that they ride this wave. If they are able to do, then they can maybe pull off marvelous things. But it's his first step, and it's always the first step you need to take to try and turn around a tough situation. Especially, once again, looking forward to the next matches, right? Because they have the win. They have to go against, I think, the loser of Northwood against SLU, I think it is.
Yeah, I
thinking about the bracket. So it's a tough matchup anyway, and then the farther you go up, the tougher the opponent will get until you more than likely meet Maryville, because I do think Maryville is probably the strongest team, but until you reach that point, that's going to be top teams all around. So it's a good first step for Fisher, and I hope that they can keep on delivering. And on the other side of the coin, St. Clair did a great job. Top 8 may not be the place where they wanted to end, but I do think that it's something to work on. Like, they are taking the longer approach, and I feel like a couple of top 8s is good, because that can build for a potential top 2.
Absolutely can here. Great stuff from both squads, and props to Fisher for the win. Props to St. Clair for a massive season here that will end with them making a top 8 yet again. We're going to take a quick break here, but we will be joined by Fisher College's Rollick once we are back for a post-match interview, so do not go anywhere. We will be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to today's broadcast of the CLOL Championship on Salty Runback, where I am joined by the victorious Rollick, fresh off a 3-0 sweep for Fisher College. Rollick, congratulations on the win. You all have just secured yourselves top 6 in CLOL.
Thank you so much, man. We're so excited.
That's great to hear. So I want to start off with, it's awesome to have you here specifically, as you haven't been playing in CLOL so far up until this matchup. What was it kind of like getting told that you were brought into the roster for this match? Like, how did you find out? Kind of give us the story there a little bit.
Our coach, he just he called me and let me know that there's a pretty good chance that I was gonna come play for this Sunday match, and so just took it in stride. I've been practicing a lot, and my teammates are so good. They're helping me out, supporting me in every way they can. It's just a great experience, and I'm glad that I could show up for everybody.
Yeah, for sure here. So a 3-0 all games on Talia, massive games on them in games 2 and 3 especially. Do you consider that a huge pick for yourself, or was that just kind of the game plan that you guys came in with? Talk to me a little bit about how we fit you into draft and how Fisher College wanted to set you up here.
Yeah, so game one was a little rough for me. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty nervous, but the champ is just kind of OP. So we just kind of thought, if we can have something that can push and move in the mid lane, it kind of just keeps our transitions really smooth, and I can pilot it pretty well. I like the champ a lot, so I had no problem playing it.
Yeah, absolutely here, and really showed up fantastically for you guys. What was prep like for St. Clair, especially? I mean, it looks like it's been it was a little bit of a rough time up against Maryville for you guys, but moving on
Mhm.
down to the lower bracket, how did you guys start to reset? I don't know how much you were in the room for there, how long you knew you were going to be playing, but how did you guys reset? How did you guys look to bounce back for today's series?
Like the Maryville series was tough. I watched it. I wasn't in the game, but I watched it. And afterwards, there were just really good vibes. And we were just like, on to the next one. We know that we can win. And we just prepped for St. Clair, shut down the bot lane, and win the game. That's pretty much what we try to do.
All worked out for you guys plenty well. People are going to be curious now coming in towards top 6, towards next weekend. Is this the last of the shuffling we're going to get to see for Fisher College? Do we know what roster is going to look like for next weekend, or is that still to be determined?
Well, we're always ready to be called up, anybody on the team. And honestly, that's just up for the coach to decide. Everybody feels like we're ready and we're prepped. We're just one big unit, and everybody supports everyone. So, if I play, I play. If Saranok does, then I'm going to support him all the way through. I just think we have a really good shot this year, so I'm excited for it.
Absolutely. That's a great to hear from you guys and how well you've been able to come together for this big win over St. Clair. Definitely a lot of predictions coming in the other way. Got to feel good to prove
Yeah.
all of them wrong. Plenty of those folks going to be tuned in right now. Plenty of folks going to tune in afterwards to see what you had to say. Floor is yours to close on out the stream here. What do you want to say to everybody who's tuned on in at home?
Honestly, no hate to the St. Clair guys. I think they're all great. And honestly, I'm just so lucky to have the teammates I got. They're all OP. They're so good. I feel so lucky to play with all of them, all five, everybody. So just shout out to my team. That's all I
That's
got, man.
Well, that's awesome to hear, Rollick. Thanks so much for hopping on with us. It's great to hear from you on the series. Go ahead and celebrate with your team. Congratulations once again on the 3-0 win. It was great to watch.
Thank you so much.
Now rejoined by TDS. TDS, welcome back on towards the stream. And what a series we just got to witness from Rollick and Co. here.
Yeah, important victory. Like we were mentioning before, important to set up the mood, set up the idea for Fisher going forward, especially if they are not going to change any more members, which I expect that to be the case. It's important to get something pretty clear now. Obviously, moving forward, there's going to be different woes to go, like different champion pools and things like that. But I think that for now, it's a great thing to see from Fisher, and hopefully they can keep on performing.
Yeah, definitely. I heard it from Rallick just now. They think that they can make a deep run, and I think they showed a little bit of that here today. I think it's easy to get caught up in what the most recent result is, as I think
Yeah.
showed pretty much everybody did here, right? not just St. Clair taking a very close series up against Winthrop, raising up their stocks, as we said as we started off the day, but also Fisher having a rough matchup up against Maryville, the odds-on favorite to win all of CLOL. They got a lot of people off of the Fisher train, and they're just here trying to correct people and readjusting. I think that's something that everybody's going to have to do this next week as they review the games and prepare for next weekend. Fisher College maybe should be a little bit higher on folks' radars, showing up big time today up against St. Clair.
Yeah, and the question marks would be probably for St. Clair into the side of maybe the BO5 took a big mental toll on them and the reverse sweep kind of affected them heavily into how they wanted to play today, things like that. But the reality is that Fisher does end up moving forward into the next part of the bracket, which is no easy feat at all, and it's something to be proud of. I think that they have something great to work on, and hopefully they can showcase that. Like you're mentioning, there's no shame in losing against Maryville. Winthrop is facing this right now as we speak in the other channel, so there's no shame in losing against Maryville. It's more so what you accomplish after that really matters, and I think that's what Fisher is going to try and look forward to.
Yeah, and now let's see what the impact is going to be on the bracket here. Check on out what the bracket looks like right now after this match is finished on up. Talked about it a little bit earlier on. Doesn't look like we're updated here, but Fisher College moving on up to lower round 2. Meanwhile, at Maryville, Winthrop series currently has Maryville up 2-0. So going to be a very, very tight race coming on up into that next round as they're going to have to play up against whoever drops from the other series today.
Yep, they have to wait and see who their next opponent will be, because we do have still some matches left to play, or actually one and a half matchup, because the other one is currently going on. Or no, actually two. Yeah, because after Maryville. Yeah, because Maryville after there is another match. But yeah, there's still some more League of Legends, more teams playing today, more teams waiting to know their next potential team that they are going to face, and it's still going to be quite a lot of CLOL action to watch out for.
Yeah, I mean, let's check out that upcoming schedule here, see where people can catch the rest of today's matchups, where it is going to be Fisher College done for now, but Ole Miss taking on St. Louis coming onto this stream. Will not kick off for about an hour, that 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern time start time. Not going to budge. So going to still stay exactly as scheduled. So you can head over to Salty Runback Pod while you're waiting and see Maryville versus Winthrop. They are just getting into Game 3 right now with Maryville at a 2-0 lead. After that, Northwood will take on St. Thomas for the other spot in the Winners Finals.
Exactly. They are trying to see their next opponents, waiting for them to come through. That's why we say it's nice how it's kind of layered out, because as the series ends, you have still Maryville to go for. And then when Maryville ends, you probably will get the next series. So you can always follow up on that slowly but surely. But it's going to be great fun watching out for the remaining teams. There's series that could potentially go the whole distance, so you certainly don't want to lose out on any of them.
Yeah, definitely. So got now the more up-to-date bracket. You can see Maryville up 2-0, Fisher College. Got the logos swapped there, but Fisher College taking the 3-0 down in the bottom bracket. We'll move on up, and I think if I'm reading this right, they play the loser of Maryville Winthrop, but it's possible that I'm reading that wrong, and it could be UST Northwood. We'll have to check out exactly how that's going to be seeded.
I hope they change sides so that it could be a bit more mixed up, but at the very least, Fisher hasn't played against Winthrop, so that's going to be the potential next matchup, and could be really fun to see. And then obviously SLU is against a potential revenge for either of these teams, because whoever wins in that one may go against the other, so it's a revenge for either of them. Could be really fun as well to see.
I would think that it's going to alternate. So I think UST Northwood, loser there,
okay, that's fine.
Up against Fisher, and the Maryville Winthrop will go over to the other side. That would be my guess, just to avoid rematches until as late as possible. But there's always space for stuff to move around, and if I'm wrong, you'll be sure to find out once the bracket's fully set at the end of today's matches. So going to have to stay tuned in and find out who else is going to be making that winner final and who is going to be playing here in lower 70s as they try to move themselves deeper on into the tournament and secure themselves a spot in top 6.
Yeah, the beauty of lower bracket is that you can never count anyone out until they're actually out. So we can wait and see them pulling through here. We can wait and see how the other teams are going to respond, and how Fisher is going to keep on moving forward into the rest of the bracket.
Absolutely. And as always, do once again have to shout out everybody who has contributed to the GoFundMe. Thank you so much to everybody whose names are coming out above my head for everything they've contributed. They are the only thing that has made this broadcast possible over the course of these couple of weekends. Huge shout out especially to Gen G and Ole Miss for their sponsorship of this event. Has been absolutely critical and has meant the world to these teams and everybody on the broadcast team being able to put this together.
Everything they've been doing, everything we've been doing is all in thanks of the donations and everyone sponsoring this. We couldn't have done this without you. And hopefully, the more they come, the better it's going to end up looking like. Everyone in the collegiate system, in the collegiate atmosphere, deserves this sort of support, and I hope that we can keep it going forward.
Yeah, to take a look at who you've been bankrolling the whole time. Big shout out to all of the production staff that have gone on in towards today's broadcast. We'll check them out here in just a second, but huge thanks to Cinzia for the work in the production of the background, Caddy and his work on observation, as well as great talk and everybody over at Salty Runback who have helped to put on this broadcast together. And a huge thanks to you, TDS, for coming on and joining me for today's stream. It's been a fun weekend, and can't wait to see what comes next weekend as well. So that's going to round out our time here on the broadcast.
Yeah, it's sad when it ends, but it's not ending for CLOL. It's only ending for our time here. You're going to get more time with other casters, with other players, and with more stories as they come through.
Absolutely. Well, that is going to do it then for the stream. So once again, thank you very much to everybody for tuning in and to everybody behind the scenes for making this possible. We will take it to that hour-long break now until we get to the Hype Up SLU matchup versus who's SLU playing? I'm already missing it.
Miss?
Yeah, Ole Miss. Thank you. Thank you so much. Totally boosted it there. You're going to want to check that one out, but it's going to be an hour-long break, so we will see you guys then. Till then, make sure to get over to Salty Runback and check on out Maryville versus Winthrop.